So I thought I'd do a little blog on a dry Sunday. The weather's good for a bit of car work, so our Vauxhall Corsa is desperate for some brake pads in the front, so it's a job I'm doing today. It looks relatively straightforward, to be fair. So wheels are off. These do stick to the front hub a little bit once you've got the wheel nuts off, so you have to spray a bit of WD-40 between this gap and the hub, which is here, and let it soak through, because the wheels will stick to this and they'd have to use a mallet at the back of the wheel to tap it off, basically. So yeah, we've got all the wheel studs off and also the locking nut as well, using the bar, extend the bar with a nice heavy duty 17mm socket on the end of the bar, so that gets the wheel nuts off and also put them back on. So yeah, next stage is calipers off. Straightforward enough. What you do have to do when you're getting the caliper off, you see this little spacer here, you have to wedge a screwdriver in this gap here to be able to loosen off the caliper bolts, because otherwise the whole thing spins. So you lock a screwdriver into there, turn your ratchet with socket on the end, and then the bolts will come out fairly easy using a, what is it? Yeah, 13mm socket. So there's the caliper, just tucked out of the way. Don't just let it hang on the pipe for obvious reasons. You don't want to be damaging the pipe, so just support it. I just use the bottom suspension rail to support the caliper on. And there are the pads. As you can see, not a lot of life left on there. I do get told off about my braking, because apparently I brake too late in the car and too heavy at the last minute. I guess that's what comes with 18 years of racing motorcycles. Anyway, here are the set of pads, as you can see. Not particularly expensive. These are going in. You can see here the difference in the pad. Just look at that. The difference there. Yep. So with these fitted, we should be able to stop on a 50p piece. So the next job is to get these pads out. And they've got a little plate on the back. Ignore that, because the new pads have got the plate fitted on. So yeah, the next job is to get the pads out. So there we go. The old pads are out. You can see there's not much life left on them. Seeing better now, the pads are out. There's a little bit on there, on this side in particular, but not a lot. Not as much as what there should be. So we're going to replace the pads. Pretty straightforward job, really. The first thing to do before you replace them is you've got these little locator plates, and what you do is you just get your screwdriver and give these a little bit of a scrape on each one, just to, in case there's a bit of a build-up of asbestos. There we go. Same on the other side. Give it a clean as well as the bag, and it will also aid the pads to slide in that actual caliper. Okay, another myth is we've got some copper slip here. This is what we use. I use anti-seize copper slip. Another myth is that you have to plaster the new rear pad at the back with copper slip on there. Why are you doing that? The caliper piston, which is this, is doing nothing really apart from pressing against that. So what you want to be doing is putting the copper slip in there. Same on that side. Smear in the top one and smear in the top one, because then when the pads are in, obviously they are going to move slightly that way when you're applying the brake, taking the off the pedal. So you do want free movement on here. What you don't need is loads of copper slip on the back there. You don't need to do that. Also, because I've put it on the back there, also risk getting it on the actual disc even more so. So yeah, the next job we're going to do is apply copper slip to all 4 of these pads, either on the edge there or in there. What I'm going to do is apply it to the clips. So that's the next job. So there we go. This side is fitted. brand new sets of pads. Look at the pad we've got on them, eh? Now the next problem we're going to have, because these pads were so warm, obviously the piston is now pushed quite far out to accommodate for the warm pads. If we try and fit that now to this, the pads are not going to fit in there. The width will not fit in there. Look at the width of that, and then that is not going to fit in there. So what we're going to use is, I'm going to use a pair of Stilsons, and we're going to compress this piston in. So if you imagine, there's the piston, we're going to squeeze that in, and this should push the piston in a little bit, enough to allow for the extra pad space. And then it's just a case of putting the caliper back on, make sure it fits on there nicely against these backing plates, and then offer the bolts up, which go through there. Same on the other side, down there, you can just see it through there. Again, locking these little tab washer things off with a screwdriver, because otherwise the whole thing will just spin. Tighten everything up, and then that should be one wheel done, good to go. Basically on the other side you repeat the procedure. It's exactly the same. You've got another set of pads here for the side, so repeat exactly what we've done on this side with the other wheel. When you fitted new pads, whether it's in a car or motorbike, you do need to bed them in a little bit. Don't expect to go straight out, slam your brakes on and the brakes be perfect. You need to give them a few miles of some steady braking, just to make sure that they're braking to their full capacity. So there we go, a bit of advice on fitting a set of new pistons, no sorry, not new pistons, new brake pads to a Vauxhall Corsa.